Hi, welcome to Hyperion Hype Club. My name is McKenna and I love the Kingdom Keepers books by Ridley Pearson. Join me as we discuss this series and others published by Disney-Hyperion Books. Let's get into it. Hi you guys, welcome to the final episode of book 1 of the Kingdom Keepers series for Kingdom Keepers Disney After Dark. We will be going over chapters 30 through the end, so 30 through 34. Sorry about the siren. Okay, so we're at the end already. So exciting. Okay, so let's go over the highlights real first. Okay, so it starts out that Pirates of the Caribbean, or well, by they I mean Philby, Finn, Maybeck, and at the end of the last chapter, they had followed Jez and Maleficent there. So one thing we hear in this is that Maleficent isn't the ringleader of the Overtakers. So definitely put in the comments of the YouTube video who you guys think Maleficent is working for. And she also said it was a female. And okay, yeah, the quote she said, "I am but a humble servant to she who lives within." Interesting. I honestly am just like, wait, what? I thought, because I remember in the other book she wasn't the ringleader or the leader or whatever, but I thought it was a guy. But I'm still a little. Let's just keep an eye on it. Okay. And then a ball of fire singed Finn's cape. And what did I say in the last episode when I mentioned he was wearing a cape? Not a good idea, as Edna Mode taught us in The Incredibles, which this book came out in 2007. I believe The Incredibles came out in 2003 or 4. I mean 2004. No capes, Finn. And now look what happened. It almost got you on fire. And then we learned that Maleficent can't handle Walt's protected pens, or at least the Stonecutter's quill, whichever pen that happens to be. And her powers were kind of sucked a little from when Finn got her with them. Okay. And then later when the keepers kind of do their final plan with Wayne, Amanda is in on that plan and in the Utilidor. So it just shows Wayne trusts her. So Finn, you probably should trust her. Okay, so Finn, Phoebe, and Mayback accidentally recharged Maleficent in the control room in the Utilidors, but they did manage to get the plans from Walt's original office display in One Man's Dream. They managed to get those back from her. And I also like how Ridley Pearson didn't let us in on their plans. So we were kind of like, is this gonna happen next? I don't know what they're gonna do. So we were kind of taken by surprise as Maleficent was, but we could also kind of, have some guessing. Probably pretty good guesses here and there. Then Jez stole the plans back into Marland. And then Finn got them back and turned into his DHI from his fully human form, which you will probably see more of in the future. But that was a cool power unlock or whatever, skill unlock. Okay. And then but when Finn was his DHI form, he stepped into Jez. And not through her, he was in her and she couldn't shake him, which is that must have been such a weird feeling. Because he couldn't have been pure light. If he was pure light, she would have been able to get out of there. But he probably had to let go a little so that he stayed in there. And that's just so weird. Okay. Okay, but Finn stepping into Jez released her from Maleficent's control, and her appearance went back to how it normally was, which is a lot similar to Amanda's, because as we learn, Jez, aka Jess, is Amanda's sister. And remember, I said before, I believe it was episode 3 when Jess and Amanda were both at Finn's. I mentioned that seemed like they clearly knew each other. So obviously that's true. And obviously I knew that too already, but I didn't want to really spoil anything. And then Jess was holding Maleficent off like Amanda did at the skate park, like holding out her hands but not actually like touching Maleficent. She was able to like prevent her from coming towards her. And then the trash tubes, like behind the scenes in Magic Kingdom, backstage. The trash tubes are the one part of this book that I actually remember pretty well. Which if you remember hearing throughout, I was like, I really like don't fully remember this book because it was over 10 years ago, but I guess the trash chutes in the utilidors was it was a very gross depiction. The detailed depiction, which I liked. I liked that detail. But yeah, it was gross and it stuck with me all these years. And I remembered it so well that I thought that it had been in the second or third book or something and not in the first. And then other adults were there when Finn came into the like more massive trash collection bin that Maleficent followed him into. Like other adults were there other than Wayne, like helping out. So I'm like, I wonder who's there. Because obviously, like, I mean, Brad obviously knows what's going on, so I wonder how many other people kind of know what's up. And then to end off the book, they reveal there's the whole plans reveal with the ink from the Stonecutter's quill. Magic Kingdom lights up all pretty, and I mean there had to have been more plans than that, but and like the whole Stonecutter's quill thing, but it's like what? Magic Kingdom just like lit up. Maybe it was taking power back from the Overtakers. I don't really know. But yeah, great reveal. Woo, lights. And then they obviously celebrated. Okay. Let's do what do we normally do first? Okay. Random remarks first. Are you surprised that Disney let Ridley Pearson write about the cast members carrying character heads or walking around with face makeup and no costume in the utilidors? They could have just told him not to mention characters in the utilidors, or did he have to mention it for plot, considering Maleficent is now hiding in the utilidors, or it was at that point? And I feel like he wouldn't have needed it for plot. But perhaps they figured that the target audience for this series is old enough for the magic not be spoiled because they already know or figure the characters they meet around Disney parks and resort are normal people just acting. So then it would just kind of be like a cool detail to add. And I know that's the way I've heard it described by people who have worked in Magic Kingdom in the utilidors, like my sister, like my roommates on my Disney college program. So I do think that was a cool detail to add in. I'm just like, wow, Disney let him say that. Okay. Finn and Maybeck were in Tomorrowland in Main Street and Adventureland costumes, respectively. That is like part of the whole reason the utilidors and stuff are a thing, because in Disneyland, when a cast member is walking through a land they didn't work in and Walt saw him, Walt was like, whoa, you're like messing with the whole theme of the land. And like, that's why Magic Kingdom had the utilidors built under it from the get-go. So it's like, dang, they really did that. That was not cool. And all the kids obviously thought Maybeck was Aladdin, but it's like, why is that Aladdin in Tomorrowland? Totally messes with the theming. And they don't even like mention that, like, hey, we should get out of here. We don't match this land. Like, no, they were just like, obviously their minds are set on just getting away from Maleficent. But whoop. Okay, and then still quite a few questions. for this last one. So maybe not so many questions this time. Okay, why did the Overtakers not hide Maybeck in the pirates' dungeon / prison instead of Space Mountain? Did they think it the space wasn't, like, the pirates ride wasn't loud enough? Like, if Maybeck was down in that prison, I feel like if he was in the prison, he would have been hurt. But if he was, like, back in that dungeon space, I don't think he would have been heard by cast members, like, checking the queue at the end of the night or in the morning. So if they already had that space set up, like, with the fresh welding and the padlocks they stole, why hide Maybeck in Space Mountain? Because even, like, the maintenance cast members could have found Maybeck there, but no cast members would have gone even near the Aryan pirates where they could have kept him. So I don't know. Okay, and then at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, no Shiz, Jez, and Maleficent wanted to be followed. Why were the keepers so surprised that that was their intention? Like, Finn acted like, oh my gosh, they wanted to be followed? And, like, Jez knew they were watching her, and they knew that she knew that because Finn and her locked eyes, and then she left. Like, duh. They knew you guys were gonna follow them. But sometimes, these kids. Okay. And then for this last one, I'm just gonna be the wildlife nerd that I am. Seagulls at Disney. Come on. When they were in Tomorrowland, they mentioned there were, like, a few seagulls hanging around. And according to birdwatching headquarters, seagulls are not amongst the 25 most common wild native birds at Walt Disney World. If they are in the parks, which I heard this from a different site, but not like a reputable bird source or whatever. If seagulls are in the parks, it's in the colder months when they want to get away from the coast. But still, it's very uncommon. It's not impossible, but it's very uncommon to see seagulls at Disney World. And I think people must think like the white ibises or something are seagulls, because at least from what I have seen, they will stalk for food, and they are the ones some people are afraid of when the person is carrying around food. So yeah. And then also, random animal nerd fact, there is no seagull species. Most people use the term to refer to various gull and tern species, or in the case of Disney World, it seems ibises and stuff. But let me know if you guys have actually seen a seagull at Walt Disney World. I'm just curious, and if you have pictures, I would love to see them. Maybe as proof, maybe just because they're cute to look at. More so the latter, especially if they're doing something kind of funny. Or you can put a funny caption to it or something. But like Finn guessed, the Kingdom Keepers have more adventures to come. And I want to thank you guys so much for talking through this book with me. Like I said in the first episode, I've wanted to talk this book through with people for so long, and I just don't really find people who have read it. But please let me know any improvements I can make for book 2. I am recording, obviously this is episode 6. But I haven't even posted episode 1 yet. So yeah, any improvements I can make for book 2, please let me know. It's going to be until I'm at least halfway through posting these, maybe longer, before I start reading, taking notes of, and recording for book 2, or taking notes on and recording for book 2. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled for a quick review of Kingdom Keepers Inheritance: The Shimmer, aka the first book in the new spin-off series that came out earlier this year. An even speedier one has already been posted to my shorts and my TikTok, which my TikTok is at disney-hyperion. So yeah, thank you guys so much again for joining me. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, and follow. Also, please chat with me and other members of this club in the comments of the YouTube video. My other social media information and a link to the Long Distance Sisters podcast I am also part of will be below. Back in a whack.